Tune in to Overcomers TV on your favorite app or streaming platform. It's time to overcome.
I learned about Wings of Freedom when I was locked up in the prison. I was doing time for drugs, and I was needing a place to go when I got out, and they told me about Wings of Freedom, and I filled out an application and got accepted, but then I got scared about leaving my hometown, so I went back home. Went back to prison 16 months later, and then I went into Wings of Freedom in 2003.
Nice. Talk about the process. What was that like?
The process of going into Wings. It's a faith-based recovery transitional living program. I felt like I needed more structure to learn how to live life responsibly. We had weekly meetings, weekly church services, we had different classes, and just it gave me the opportunity to really form a relationship with Christ.
Nice. Good deal. Now talk about your role and your involvement now with the ministry.
I'm always there. I do the children some, and ushering, and I like to mentor a lot to those that are coming in, and I am in Pro Sprinklers as a dispatcher, and then I work over at Green Country Trailers also.
That's good. Yeah, so talk about those kind of companies and how that generates jobs and also helps, bring revenue into the ministry.
Yes, they created the businesses, and it was basically, I think in the beginning it was for those that were going to be hard to employ, because there's a lot of those. And so it gives them the jobs and gives them a chance to get back into society as a productive citizen. And it kind of trains them up, and then it brings in the revenue to help support our Wings of Freedom program for those other ones that are coming in that want to get their lives together and get to know Christ.
Perfect. Word bite, note to editor. We want to use that word bite for sure. We'll get some B-roll of the businesses in action today. And that's good. How would you describe the vision, the mission, the heartbeat of Wings of Freedom?
Oh, if it wasn't for Wings of Freedom, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be clean and sober today. I wouldn't have the life I have today. The vision of it is just amazing. The pulling the people in off the streets, out of the prisons, out of abusive relationships, addiction, just anything, and bringing them in and restoring their lives and restoring their families. And there's just such a big need for it, a big need.
That's awesome. Very good. Talk about how the Lord is using this ministry to share the gospel with people. We just assume everybody's heard the glorious story, but how are people getting saved, coming to Christ? Talk about that. So we cater to a lot of different walks of life, and we go out into the streets. Some of the ministries go out into the streets. We go into the prisons, and we just share the gospel with them and show them that there's a better way to life than what they're living, and to help get them out of their personal prisons, their physical prisons, and restore their lives back with Christ. Amen. So discipleship, talk about that process, how people takes time to learn how to obey and bring that structure to life skills. Talk about that through the different phases, how the discipleship gets played out.
Well, when they bring you in, and it's like I said, it's a faith-based program. I think they go to church 4 times a week, and then there's the different classes to help them learn how to live life responsibly and how to live life with Christ, and how much that Christ really loves them and doesn't want to leave them where they're at. And a lot of them are, we lose some along the way, but for the most part, they grasp it, and then they rise up and they become mentors too, to help bring them in.
Talk about the apartment complexes, the communities, the sober living communities.
So the apartment complexes, the communities of it, they all rally around each other and build each other up and help pull each other up. There is such a need for that. There is such a need for a safe, clean, and sober place to live. And Wings of Freedom has provided that for so many. And there's nothing like it right here in Tulsa, because we don't just do the man or the woman. We do the families, the children, and even the addicted teenage children.
That's awesome. Talk about the motel, what it was, and how we got to the story of how it became ours.
From my understanding, back in the day, it was really, really a hopping, drug-infested place. And through the years, the place became abandoned, and the homeless and the addicts and everybody would still go and hang out there. They'd bust the doors down and hang out. And it was abandoned. And right in the middle of the pandemic, our church purchased, Wings of Freedom purchased the motel, and we're going to turn it into a clean and sober living apartments to help more people, because we have outgrown what we have. We need more space.
Wow, that's amazing. Talk about ways people can get involved and support a ministry like Wings of Freedom.
So to get involved, we always need mentors. We need people to help donate, like things to get set up in an apartment. They do have to come in. They do have to get employed. So we always need people to take them, like maybe to get their IDs or to get their Social Security cards. So we need a transport like that, and then we need them to come in and just kind of guide them and love them through it and show them the different way. And they need a lot of help. We need a lot of help. It takes an army. The ministry does need a lot of prayers, because we have different walks coming in, and not everybody receives what we have. So we need a lot of prayer in that area, and we also need the financial support to help go in and remodel the motel so we can give them an amazing place to live. You know, so many of them are out on the streets and have nothing, and we take the opportunity to bring them in and show them life, and that takes finances. There are so many appointments that they have to make to get back into being productive citizens, and we do need transportation. We need childcare in our church. Because when they come and they bring their babies, I mean, we have an overabundance of children, which is amazing. And we have special babies, you know, so we need special people to help with them babies. It takes a lot of people to operate the church. I mean, we're just growing in leaps and bounds. And as far as the apartments and everything, you know, when they come in and they have nothing, then we need to supply them with their basic needs. So even donating toilet paper or donating hygienes, that becomes a great thing for them.
Okay. Talk about the warehouse, how supplies come in, you sort it, and even Christmas time, there's how many families and stuff like that. So
Oh, yes.
talk again about the warehouse.
So at the warehouse is where we take all of our donations and everything, and they sort it out and put it on the shelves, and you know, they go through it. If it's not good, they throw it away. If it's good, it's up on the shelves for the clients. And it helps support around Christmas time. I think last year we did about 250 families with kids for Christmas that otherwise wouldn't have had anything. And we get a lot of seasonal stuff in from the donations, you know, the Christmas stuff, and they pass it all out to the church and the clients, and it helps. Every little bit helps.
Very good. Why do you do what you do?
Because I want everybody to know that Christ is there for them, and I want to see the people in recovery, and I just want to spread His love and His joy and just help anybody I can.
That's awesome. Talk about Celebrate Recovery.
Celebrate Recovery is a spiritually based recovery program. They implement the Bible in with your recovery. So many people do AA, NA. I was never one of them people because they talk about their war stories. At Celebrate Recovery, you go in and they don't try to process it. They just let you get off of your chest what is what is on it, and they don't try to process you with it. So therefore you get more out of Celebrate Recovery, or I did. I got more out of Celebrate Recovery than I ever would AA or NA.
Good. Final question, is there anything else the Lord put on your heart to share with us today?
Change. Change begins with the first step. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I never dreamed I would be where I am 20 years later in life.
Celebrate what Jesus is doing throughout the nation and rise up to answer his call on your life. To serve the poor, heal the broken, free the captives, and bring joy to those in need. Find hope, encouragement, and motivation through Overcomers TV. This inspiring network features everyday people and ministries across America who are putting God's love in action. Tune in to Overcomers TV on your favorite app or streaming platform. It's time to overcome.